Paint and water macro photography is a great opportunity to create abstract images. So you can use paint colors of choice using spray paint. And taken one step further, this project can turn into a hydro dipping project where you actually dip subjects into the paint and water. Looking at the supplies needed, you're going to need spray paint, rubber gloves, paper towels, and a container to hold the paint and water. We use a takeout container from some fast food restaurant. And then your tripod, camera, lens, and a circular polarizing filter. I'm shooting with the Nikon Z6 III, 105mm lens, and most importantly, starting my settings at f8. As we take a closer look to the camera setup, things to really keep in mind is when you're shooting macro photography, to maximize your focus, you want to make sure that the lens is parallel to the surface of your subject, or in this case, the paint and water. So that's crucial when you're taking the pictures. Once the camera's moved away, I'm going to start with my painting. So I'm going to just spray paint on top of the water using a combination of colors until I get some patterns that I like. Now the paint does start to dry, which makes it really easy to photograph, and so you can keep adding more and more paint until you get different patterns and different looks. If it's not too hot outside, you can use a popsicle stick and kind of stir or swirl the colors together as well. Once I have a nice combination of colors, using both pastels and darks or neutrals to add contrast, then I can go ahead and begin to shoot. So we're going to take a close-up look here of what it really looks like, and you can see why that polarizing filter would be handy with the glare. Here's a straight look down at one of my samples. So once I'm done, I take the rubber gloves off, pull in the camera, and start shooting. Again, making sure that lens is parallel to the surface of the water. Once I start shooting, I can take single images, or sometimes I will take 2 different images, or 3 possibly, at different focal points, and then I'll use stacking software to stack them together. That way, just in case my lens is not perfectly parallel, or if I have a layer of paint of some sort, I want to make sure I get as sharp a focus as possible with this project. So I keep rotating my tray around until I find different compositions. Notice as I rotate, I see a lot more glare on the water, so I just let the water settle for a moment, and then a majority of that goes away, especially with the polarizing filter. When I'm all done, I can use that popsicle stick and take away the film of paint, and then I can start all over from scratch. Here's a couple sample images just to show you what this can look like. So some of these are minimally cropped in Adobe Lightroom, but pretty much straight out of the camera here. So you can see quite a different variety in color combinations. If you spray straight onto the water, kind of deep, harder spray, it'll break up the colors a lot more. If you spray more on the surface, then you get a little larger amounts of color together, and they all make such a great different abstract images. If you are interested in any more photography, especially macro photography, feel free to subscribe to my channel and look at other videos.